Museum de Fundatie has one of its two sites at the old courthouse on de Blijmarkt in Zwolle. This is a monumental building in a place with a special history. Tradition has it that the Blijmarkt in Zwolle was named after de Blijden, a type of catapult that was built there for the siege of the notorious Zwolse castle in 1362. The robber barons of Vorst made life a misery for the citizens of Zwolle. They plundered the city and terrorized trade on the river IJssel. Zwolle rose in rebellion. Vorst Castle was bombarded with large rocks and rotting dead bodies. Dysentery broke out and the robber barons were forced to surrender. The castle was razed to the ground. Zwolle was freed and was now finally able to grow unimpeded. The city became rich through its trade along the IJssel with German cities and the Baltic. Zwolle became a Hanseatic city and enjoyed great economic growth in the 15th century. Along with this trade, new ideas also flowed into the city. Thomas à Kempis made Zwolle the center of modern devotion, a reform movement within the Catholic Church. His book, The Imitation of Christ, is still world famous today. The 16th century saw the end of the Hanseatic League's glory days. International trade was taken over by Amsterdam and Zwolle's market acquired an increasingly regional character. The centuries passed. In 1837, Albertus Wetterman was hanged in the market square. It was the last public execution in Zwolle. That same year, the city council started looking for a site for the new provincial courthouse, a beacon of justice and reason. It was decided to build it on the old Blijmarkt. Space was created for an imposing new building by pulling down the city walls and the Lutteken Gate. The courthouse had to fit in with the new avenues and elegant villas being constructed around the old city centre. It was a work relief project that aimed to give a new look to the impoverished and dilapidated city of Zwolle. A competition was held to design the new courthouse. Architect Eduard Louis de Coninck from The Hague was selected from the 11 tenderers. The building committee was impressed by de Konink's antique temple. At this time, the classical architecture that had made its way over from France was extremely popular. The slender Corinthian pillars at the front and the back of the building gave it a rather un-Dutch appearance. The courthouse was given a large central hall, on either side of which was a courtroom. These rooms were the same height as the large hall, and light entered them through the roof. Positioned around them on the ground and first floors were various small offices. The building opened in 1841. Less than 35 years later, in 1875, the provincial court was closed, leaving one courtroom empty. For a long time this was used as a library. Later, this high-ceilinged courtroom was split into two floors. For most residents of Zwolle, the prominent courthouse remained an imposing, decorative building on the edge of the city centre. The interior, on the other hand, stayed hidden. If you were a respectable citizen, all being well, you would never set foot inside. The court remained on the Blijmarkt until 1977. After this, the building was home to the Provincial Planning Authority for a time. When in the early 1990s this authority also relocated, a new purpose had to be found for the building. Zwolle decided to throw the spotlight on its culture. The courthouse on the Blijmarkt was turned into a museum. Until 2001, it was the home to Museum de Fundatie, which specialized in primitive and outsider art. In 2004, the building underwent a radical conversion under the direction of architect Gunnar Daan. Since then, the courthouse on the Blijmarkt, together with het Nijenhuis Castle near Heijden, has formed the Museum de Fundatie. The former courthouse is now a temple to art that aims to surprise, astound and inspire its visitors.